ascending and rising. You have your horizontal, forehand and backhand. You have your descending diagonal, ascending diagonal, ascending diagonal. My bladed weapons journey is about, I guess it started in about 1970. So, don't make me do the math. But the idea is, this to me is a supersonic flexible blade, so I use it that way. And one of the things, where did my lovely dog go? Come here, you. Okay. One of the things that keeps her absolutely safe should. So in whatever I do, I build safety into it. Okay. And what I'm using is structural alignment. The simplicity of this is, no matter what the tool is, your hand's behind your weapon, your elbow's behind your hand, your body's behind your elbow. And then no matter what I pick up, be it a saber, or a two-handed weapon, or a flexible weapon, excuse me, I have strength through structure rather than effort. Most people use a tool like it's an adversary. It should not be. Anybody here ride horses? No? Well, it was my dream as a boy, and I got to, there you go. I got to do it when, I started when I was 39 because I wanted to take all these skills up on the horseback. Over the next 30 years, I was in horseback on 11 countries on 5 continents because I could make the horse an ally. And as a result, I could create a character with the two of us and I would get credibility because I could get the horse to trust me. It usually takes me about 20 minutes to get a horse used to the idea of my cracking a whip on their back because I don't make a big deal out of it. First off, I don't make a lot of noise. I'm going to be working, just so you know, tuck your feet in, I'm going to be working here, okay? You have a simple direct throw, which is this, right? And that's all 8 of those angles, so you flex. So this is my vertical, right? This is my diagonal, right? This is my horizontal. And you notice I'm going down the railroad track. This is my rising diagonal. This is my rising vertical. Now the same thing happens on the backhand side. Vertical to diagonal to horizontal. Notice I'm going down the railroad track to here to here. And the thing I like about this one, Ken Mary's over there, I can face her and do a rising diagonal. Or I can face you and do a rising diagonal. Or I can turn my back and do the no peeking because I'm still on the railroad track. So I'm using structure instead of hoping for the best. Okay, make sense? And what this allows me to do, when your wife has a knife in her hand, whenever she says, that's right. Okay. So, first with our against your socks. To me, the elbow, forearm, hand, and handle are all on the railroad track. When I turn my hand down, the whip is now outside the railroad track. You see it? And I form my loop. If I don't form my loop, I can't send my loop. Seems logical. Most people, you just slow down. Most people throw the tip.
Yeah, that would be.
Okay? And it's okay, but there's no safety built into this. What I do is follow the handle. And if I form the loop and follow the handle, the only thing that changes is the angle of the handle. So, if I follow the handle, that's the path the tip of the whip will go, which means I can use this supersonic tool and weapon efficiently and safely with a partner, okay? So if she's here in the railroad track with me, she's in the railroad track with me, so I'm going down the railroad track. And no matter how close I get, I'm always going past her. And I will never hit her by accident, or for that matter, you guys. That makes you feel better, doesn't it?
Why are we sitting in the front row? Oh my God.
Okay? So this is what I'm using, and this means, when I want to hit something, okay, rather than going, gee, I sure hope this works, okay,
Yeah.
I simply put it on the railroad track. Now, if I point my handle, that's where the tip of the whip goes. If she leaves her hand out, it's going to crack and do that, or I did not hit them. That went past or cracked and then wrapped. You can come to my ranch and train with this if you'd like.
That's a lot of trust.
How beautiful this is. So if this is my simple direct throw, if this is my simple direct throw, here like this, I call this the catapult. So I form the loop and I send the loop. And this is really important for a performer because if I form the loop, I create a close-up. My spidey senses tell me there's a camera over there, right? Now, if this is a catapult, right, and that's a great place for that camera, this becomes a pendulum catapult, and then this becomes the trebuchet. Okay? All of them pass through this structure. All right? Now I can do the same thing coming from below. Here like this. Or I can do a rising diagonal, which is going to go past and come around like that. Or I can come on this side. See where I put that? That's where that goes. If you put your right arm out, I can come from below, right? Or I can come from above. Once again, or I can do my palm down. It's the same throw, it's just a matter of knowing distance and controlling distance. And that comes from 55 years of bladed weapons experience. Does that make sense? Now, those were those angles. We also have around the legs, right? Around the waist. Sorry, I'm trying not to hit people in the front row. There you go. I should shift that way. Okay. I should, hands up. Notice how I'm going down the railroad track with this. I am not doing this. Because I have to go to sleep sometime. Okay, sure, it'll wrap around her if I throw the whip at her. But if I send the whip down the railroad track, okay, it comes as very nice and soft. It cracks in the wraps, you follow? And the only difference between that and a neck wrap is confidence. See it? So, we can be very all hello. Okay, now, so, sonic flexible leg, 8 angles of attack, right? People go, oh, I'll just eat that pain and then come get you.
No.
I'm going, well, and I will be waiting for you. I've studied with Guru Daniel Santo for over a dozen years, and he still continues to inspire me. This gives me all my stick work, plus my empty hand, my companion weapon, right? You guys like nunchuck?
Yeah.
This is a nunchuck. Same 8 angles if I want, wherever it comes. I never understood this one. It just seemed goofy. This can become a rope dart. Makes sense? You can do all of that stuff. This can become a flail, right? And from the flail, I have a little more room. I just pick this up, and then once again, it's a whip. Okay? Or I can leave it here. So you see, I have a structure. I have a foundation. I have likened this to a flexible bladed weapon. So I have 5 decades of sword work that inform my use of this. All right? You guys see that? And then it's just your imagination. So I have a medium range, I have a long range, medium range, close range. And that gives me a lot of stuff. And I'm looking for a new project to put this in because they didn't. Anyway, lots of ideas. Now, the thing we talked about here is the loop is above my hand. So everything is downhill. How many of you are old enough to remember a picture named Sandy Koufax? Bless you. I don't follow sports because to me life's not a spectator sport. I'd rather be doing stuff. But I do remember as a child, Sandy had this way of he would turn and face you and then throw. So he looked like a catapult. So this is where I got this. And then the energizing pendulum, this. And then the circle around and this. You notice how I'm facing. My rear foot in me, how many do martial arts? Okay? You don't throw punches with your hands, you throw punches with your body. You throw punches with your core and your hip. And the rear foot unlocks the hip. Am I pointing at you?
Yeah.
Sure. It's a trick question. This is the image I just gave her. Am I pointing at you guys? Look at my rear foot. I'm pointing over their structure. I don't point at you until this points at you. So with this and with the sword, not only am I just throwing the tip down the railroad track, I am turning my entire body, which throws my elbow down the railroad track, and then I follow the handle, I create the loop and send the loop, and then the only thing that changes is the angle of the hand. You see it? Cool, huh? All right. So, which brings us to
The beast.
the beast.
Yeah.
I can put my chin with. Any of this? Yeah, it's heavy. Now, fellow named, these are called Kieran whips. And he has done a wonderful thing. What makes the whip work is it's a constant taper. So if once you line it up on itself, it accelerates on its own structure. That's why I like to do what I do. I form a loop, I send a loop. My loop is always above my hand. Okay? What do you think happens with this structure? The connection of the body of the, even though it's a tapering body, this connection is loose. So gravity has a grip on it. I spoke to them because they do a whole lot of this, or they'll do this, and then they'll yank the body and do that. And I say, not everybody just got out of the Shaolin Temple. Not everybody has that athleticism. So I said, with my patented Longis rolling loop, follow the handle system, I have a flexible grip, which is how I use swords, which we're going to do in just a minute. So from here like this, if I do a straight throw, the whip's behind me, I'm going to hit myself. If I do a compound throw, the whip's below me and I'm going to hit myself. But if I send the whip up first and then go forward, now the whip is, the body of the whip is above the handle, so I can do the same diagonal to the other side, to the horizontal. I can start moving into patterns. So I'm kind of going up, and I have people in front, I have people in back. So I can take this, what's the problem I need to solve? I need to make gravity an ally, I need to lift the whip above the handle, and then this will still give me that same smooth and effective and safe structure. You guys see it? Any questions? Good, moving on.
We're good.
Excellent, okay.
7 minutes.
Right. Dr. Mary is, well, she will soon be a 4th degree black belt in Shinkendo, which is, that's the thing to share with us. I'm really glad this is something that we share. You're walking out, oh good, I was going to say, on an active carries weapons. Are you crazy? So, these are the Ido, meaning they're not sharp. All right. Oh! But they are very pointy. When I was working with Jet Li and Fearless, we were using what's called shamra, which are swords that are actually made out of bamboo. They've been doing it that way for a very, very long time, which is why you don't see a lot of blade contact. I play the Spanish swordsman. And our connection was so light, we were able to use the chambra and give it the weight that a steel weapon would have. So they weren't sharp per se, but they were pointy, and either one of us could have lost an eye. Wu Ping, when I brought in the sword, when I brought in the saber, actually, that's the coolest part about Japanese swords is you don't look when you put it away. Because nothing looks better than this. I brought in, actually, I brought in the curved saber. It's essentially a 1908 curved Prussian saber with the perforated guard. We talked about it for months. But I also brought a patent saber, and I met. We came out here, and Wu Ping goes, pokey, 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 literally, pokey, pokey, pokey. And I went, oh my God, he thinks European swordplay is what he's seen in the movies, which to me is a miasma of misinformation. It's usually pretty awful, okay? The Golden Age, they actually had sword masters, one of whom was mine. I started training with Ralph Faulkner who was a two-time Olympian and Swordmaster to the Stars, and his studio, Falcon Studios, was the place to be. I started with him in about 1970, and he lived until he was 95, and he was still teaching 3 days a week, so that's the bar that I'm hoping that I could reach. I get to do replacement parts, so he didn't have that option. But I went, okay, and when we got on set, they were about a week behind because the Japanese guy wasn't as good as they had been led to believe, so they were shooting like 3 moves at a time. So they were 5 days behind, and I got up and we shook hands, and his first 3 moves were pokey, 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 and I went, I'm not gonna get myself fired, but at the same time, I'm not going to do that. So I gave him a lunge, and this is called an intagliata, and then a redoublement. So I kept the nature of the tool, and I kept the character of the swordsman. It was kind of neat. How many of you guys watch Highlander the series? Yay! I did season 3 Blackmail, where they gave me this god-awful broadsword that was like a broadsword length of cicada, which is, a 5-finger, assassin stabbing knife for narrow hallways in Italy during the period of the Borgias. As a broadsword, it was a big, well, this is what they give you, so you've got to figure out a way to make it work. And then the second time I did Rapier and Dagger in the Reign of Character called Antonio Consone, and I introduced the Spanish mysterious circle for the first time on film. The cool thing about the mysterious circle is you were always at sword's point. You do this like this, and if one person moves and the other person doesn't, by the way, there's 8 angles of footwork too. There's forward and back, and there's a fast forward, and there's a pass back, and there's a lunge, variations on linear. Then there's lateral. Sword come, you move. Get your ass off the track, okay? And then you have build a barrier and step behind you. Step behind your elbow. There's descending diagonal. You guys see it? And then you have ascending diagonal where sword comes, you monitor it, and then you enter, and you create a new center line where your leverage is superior. That's where knowledge is very, very helpful. Okay? I tell my students, people come from all over the country, all over the world to train. I said, you arm yourself with knowledge because knowledge is choices. And your art is in your choices. That's what makes you different from everybody else. And it also makes it very fun. I love to teach because I'm constantly rediscovering ways to impart the things that I have learned to the individual. I don't just do a blanket, why can't you get this? You don't. No, it's like, okay, you teach me how to teach you. And that's how I stay creative during the down times that are inevitable in our business. But the idea is here, I still have my verticals, my horizontals, my descending diagonal, my ascending diagonal. Now, all of these have a different name depending on the tool and depending on the culture, okay? But foundationally, they have a common structure, which is those 8 angles of attack. Your footwork has a common structure, which is those 8 angles plus circle. Okay, that's all there is in every weapon system in the world. So when you see, my job is to be able to impart a lot of information in a short period of time, because I almost never get any time. It amazes me. We had 4 months to shoot that scene. I'm lucky if I get 4 hours, but okay. That's why it really helps if you train somebody, because when I trained Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, we would walk on set and create things. We'd look at the adversity and go, let's turn this into an opportunity. And I would give her the confidence to be able to go, guys, can you move that light 6 inches? Give me an 18-inch path, and then she can focus on her performance. And because it's all her, she has no doubles with the whip. That credibility is priceless. And that's an investment I think all producers should be willing to make. Alas. But that's how I like to work. I like to train the artist, so that you've got a structure and then we can create. And that's what's a lot of fun. That is Japanese broadsword. This is European broadsword. Okay? There's this. Now, each weapon has its nature. each weapon has its personality. Japanese katana, you want to describe that, Mary? No. Good, okay, I guess I'm doing all the talking. All right, you will notice that it has a curved blade. They weren't always this way. That actually happened during forging, where when they quenched it, it went, oh, that's pretty cool. Straight-bladed weapons are percussive. They will do damage where they hit. These weapons weren't particularly sharp. These weapons were very sharp. Okay, this was more percussive, impact damage, right? But this is one particular spot, or you got in blades that were thrusting. A curved blade puts steel on target sooner and longer. Okay, and that's one of the geniuses of this particular weapon. Right? Still 8 angles of attack, but the idea is you have a fundamental structure, and then you have a tool, and that tool you are looking for the most efficient way to utilize this particular tool, all right, and also reference the culture. So one of the things, are you wearing your sign?
No, that one.
Do you have anything you can put it on? Okay, it doesn't matter. Again, one of the cool things about
It doesn't.
yeah, it's fine. Well, you know where it is. He's talking about the kurikata, which is this, which tells you that this is oriented correctly for the sword to return to the side. There's nothing more fun than having this be backwards and being all cooling. Nobody saw that? Nobody saw that? Okay, everybody saw that. So when you screw up, own it. All right. But there are multiple ways to draw the saber. There's multiple ways to put this back. You get very cool and imaginative with that kind of fun. But the idea is, and I tell people, no matter what the tool is, okay, this is an inanimate object until you pick it up. It's a dead thing. When you pick it up, it becomes an extension of your will and your skill and your training and your imagination. And that's where your homework comes in. You will have the skills that you show up with on set. Don't go, well, once I get the job, then I'll learn how to do it. Oh, I've had people call me up and go, okay, I need to do this thing. All right, yeah, I can teach you. When do you go in front of camera? Next week? What have you been doing for the last 6 months? Well, I think the record that we set, American Horror Story, Kathy Bates. Hello, yes, this is Anthony. Can you teach Kathy Bates to use the whip? Yes. When does she need to film? Tomorrow. How much time can I get her for? About 20 minutes. So I walk in and I go, show me the set. And it's like a silo dungeon, set. And I walk in and I put my hands on the ceiling. And they went, well, I will not be teaching you this pendulum because we simply can't do it. Fortunately, I have other options in my vocabulary because you have to be able to hit the curve with show business, because that's all you're going to get. They're going to pace you in the corners and they're going to throw curveballs at your head. And you have to be able to take that and go, I can solve this problem, and I can solve this problem, and I can make it better than what you originally thought you were going to get. But that's where your homework comes in. Does that make sense? So anyway, that being said, you want to be as efficient with the tool as possible, and you want to reference the culture, one of which is the Motuniverse mind.
Right.
So we're going to do it towards the audience. So I would be drawing my sword. Happo no Kamai means you're going to 8 kamais. So this is Chudo. This is Gedo. You move to Waki. Waki sets you up to do Kiriage. Okay? To Hasso. To Jodan. Stepping forward, Seigan. To Seigedan, rise into Kasumi and Chudo, going to Hidari, which means left side. And you go all the way down to Gedan. And then to Waki. And then to Hasso. And then to Jodan. You notice how much of the body is being incorporated into what we're doing. Right? And then we would do Jodan Chiri, which is here, and you put this, and you would slide it in. Or you would do Gaidon shibari. Go here and slide it in. Sorry, that was Chudon shibari, and this is Gaidon shibari, which is the reverse of Ippon me draw. Okay, this is knowledge you don't even have right now. Or you can get very cute, and you can do this one. Oh, I do that, but don't rush it. Be aware I'm here with stuff. So it's a matter of familiarize yourself with it and make it balance. All right? Tension anywhere is tension everywhere. The minute I grip this, my neck's gone away. I got to show it, and it's going to turn into this. It really changes what I can do with the weapon. The weapon should balance and flow. This is a two-headed weapon. This is a center guard weapon, just like an Italian longsword or a German longsword is. Now, what do you notice are the differences visually? Anybody?
Straight.
Say?
That one's straight, that one's curved.
Good. Handle. Pommel.
The guard.
Yes. Okay. That's the tsuba, which is very much like a small sword, where you only have this little tiny thing. Everything you're trying to do is put your hand behind your weapon, elbow behind your hand, body behind your elbow. If I have a small sword, I'm minimizing target profile, like if you box, all of this stuff will say it. Okay. But that's only good for deflecting something. If I want to be able to absorb a cut, I need to put myself so my body is behind my elbow, and I have a structure that's going to dissipate the energy. But the minute I'm like this, my body's not behind my elbow, and I'm going to get hit. Does that make sense? Okay. This has two edges. That has one. This is slightly longer, which is good for me. A little bit less so for her. But you get the idea? So I look at this and go, all right, what can we do with this? Because most of the fights you see on film are, they are matched weapons, which is nice, especially if you're doing a duel. You'll do that in courses, so you have all the length weapons. But I find if they're mismatched, then that gives the characters something to do. How many of you seen the movie Rob Roy? It's one of my favorite movies story-wise. Did Bob Anderson or Bill Hutch, remember? Anyway, two of the great choreographers. You have Liam Neeson, who is very forthright, he's very upright, he's very honest, he's very honorable. If he has a beef with you, he's going to come at you from the front. And then you have Tim Roth, who is literally a bastard, and he's unscrupulous, and he is using a rapier, which is a weapon that's about deception. It literally lies. He will fake you here, and then he'll shift over, and he'll go somewhere else. Does that make sense? So you have two weapons that are an extension of their characters, and then, fortunately, they utilize them differently. Sometimes they give you two weapons, and you have guys doing a bunch of X patterns. Going really fast and doing a bunch of X patterns, just going.
A lightsaber duel. Like a lightsaber duel.
Well, bad lightsaber choreography. Some lightsaber choreography is very good because they remember, it's a lightsaber. It's a saber. Let's use it like there's a fight in there. Okay. Just for fun. Actually, would you like to do Chupan
Okay.
Okay, we're going to be very slow, and we're not going to hit these swords together because I don't want to damage them. This one's actually pretty nice. All right. Here, I'm going to create an opening. Now I'm going to here. Now I'm going to create another opening. She's going to invite me. Not so far away. I've got that knee. Shuffle. Step. Okay. Shuffle. Step around. Okay. Now, camera's over here. We had the clear camera. One of the things is when my choreography always moves. This happens to be a partner cut, but that's pretty cool. Okay. Good. Double step, Kote reverse. Yeah. Shuffle.
No, it's just coming from there.
Okay. Let's start again. All right, so from here. Good. Now, if I go here, she has better leverage than I do. But if I do this, Now I have better weapons than she does. You see, I have a path to her. It's about footwork. It's not about making her move. It's about building a barrier and getting behind it, which gives me this. And going on. Good. Now same thing here. And so, good. All right, we're going to shift some room. We shuffle. Step. High, low, shuffle. Step. I'll move you so you don't go into the audience. Here, then.
Go to reverse.
Okay. Reverse.
Shuffle step.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Shuffle. Step.
Step.
Okay, that's why she's a fourth degree bypass. So am I, but sometimes she has to remember this stuff. Good. Sorry? Yes, I know. Thank you. And here, this is closer. And kitty cash. Good, and then we finish with Makio side. Makio side. Kitty cash. And Makio side, which is a shift. And it's kitty cash. Like so. And then we say, what are you doing, Lick? how about a drink? We shouldn't fight. Right? Now, just for fun, what happens if I use this blade instead? Right? And I've just chosen, as you can see, we haven't rehearsed this. We're, yes?
I just go back in the country.
I would win? Almost never on film, but when yeah, when I'm in charge, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what does that
That's
mean?
2 hand or 1 hand?
You have a two-handed sword.
Yeah. So.
I will go to a one-handed sword.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what did I just say? I just said X and 4. X and 4 is a structure to create. How to build perfect cuts, perfect parries, perfect distance, and perfect moulinets. Anybody know what a moulinet is? Besides you. Okay. Have you heard of La Moulin Rouge? Yeah. Ooh, what does that mean? Not voulez-vous coucher avec moi? It means the red windmill. Okay. And moulinets are this. This describes this. In Filipino work, this is a redondo. Okay, or a florete. All right, but it's basically the same thing, just a different name. Now, the key to this is, if I have a tight grip on this, tension anywhere, tension everywhere, and now I can't do this anymore. Everything goes into my shoulder, and it becomes pirate bash fest. I go, yar, yah, ha, ooh, transition, that's fun. But that's one very specific character. What I would rather do is from here, I'm going to press. When she presses back, I'm going to shift. Okay? Now I have an advantage. Good. But yes, you're choosing to use a two-hand. That's good. I think you want to come back to do it. All right, well, now we're going to do X and 3.
Okay.
Okay, and here. Here, and I come to her, and she comes to me. Now, I have here. I can, I've done that, I can pressure here, which is an expulsion from my side. I was going to say stay on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is an expulsion. All right, and she can draw on that, draw. Oh, that's my favorite, one of my favorite moves where I don't actually get hurt and I control things. Now, studying manuals is wonderful. Getting up on your feet is even better. Things that you see in manuals, you have to be aware that they are specific to the weapon and the period and the culture at the time. You will see people. This is. I was going to explain to you what the numbering system is. If I'm walking along and ruffians leap out at me, I draw my sword. That's prime or 1. This is seconde or 2. This is tierce or 3 en français. This is quart or 4. This is quinte or 5. I cut to the chest and I go to 6. That's ceased. I can come down here to 7. That's 17. These are all structural alignment parries, okay, that are good against a cut because I create a wall of steel. I create a wall of steel. Now, do you notice I'm not pushing on her? Okay, I just have the structure to do it. If she were to step through, Good. And then just straight.
Oh,
If she were to step through, is my body behind my elbow? No. It's down. Okay. So if she starts going off angle, I'm going to match her blade. Like for example, if she cuts chest, we create the Holy Cross. Isn't that marvelous? If she goes to my head, we create the Holy Cross. Isn't that marvelous? My body's behind my hands behind the weapon, elbows behind my hand, body behind my elbow. If she cuts on a diagonal, I'm going to get hit because my body's not behind my elbow, unless I have lower body. Oh, so now I have positioned my structure behind the weapon, so everything is very easy for me. You see it? We still make a cross, but now we're using other angles other than these. All right? Make sense? Cool. But get back to this. That's counting. All right? I teach skeletal alignment parries because I'm a big believer in building layers of safety. Okay? This is the middle of the blade. If this was a Japanese sword, this is called the Motuniverse. But this is the middle of the top half of the blade. Sometimes referred to as the foible in European, or weak. This is the fort, or strong. In all sword systems, I want your weak on my strong because I have better leverage. Okay? You guys see that? Cool. All right. So, what I was starting to tell you, sorry, I'm trying to impart a lot of information in a very short period of time. These, if she's thrusting at me, yeah, I'm sorry, you're stuck with that. If she's thrusting at me, I only need to deflect. I don't leave my blade here. If she comes over to the other side, I turn my hand down, I only need to deflect. If she goes below, I only need to deflect. If she comes to the other side, see, these are supination pairs. They will deflect a point, but if she, okay, I'm going to deflect the thrust, but push. If you make it a cut, it ain't going to work. Okay? So the parries I teach are horseback parries. Because when you're on horseback, you have an 1,100-pound ally, which is why I ask if anybody rides horses. I want an 1,100-pound ally, not an adversary. With a whip, I want a supersonic ally, not an adversary. This is a tool that becomes an extension of my personality and skill. This is not, it should be an ally. Does that make sense? Okay? So when I'm on horseback, my advantage is 1,100 pounds going 15 to 25 miles per hour. It's not about the arm, it's about place this and ride through it. Okay? Everybody wants to kill my horse. The other guy on the horse wants to kill my horse. The guys on the ground want to kill my horse. That's why if you see Spanish Riding Academy, they call it the aerials, the cabriolet. They teach the horse to jump up and throw out both front and back feet. That's to bash a hole through the shield line that's trying to form around you so that they can impale you. Okay? They were war machines at the time. Those were the tanks. Right? But from here like this parry, with the tip down, this protects my reining arm, the horse's belly, shoulder, neck, all the way on up to the eye and to what's called the pole, which is between his ears. On this side, this is the eye to the neck, to the shoulder, to my other leg. These are all in front of me. These are the parries I teach. And here's the two high, and then here, and then there's this one. So we're back to the numbering system, but I'm always moving until my body's behind my elbow. You guys see that? Because that's really important. Okay, just for fun. Back to the structure of X and 4. So I'm going, she's got it laid out, I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to flow into this. So I'm going to go here. Then I'm going to shift it here. Then I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to go here. We're going to use the edit transition line. So these are cuts.
Okay, that's it.
Right? Good. Now if she was to, there you go. She starts, see now I'm going to have to turn my body. Because I've got to put my body behind my elbow. If I stay here like this, my body's not behind my elbow and it won't happen. So you see the structure in action, right? But then we get into, you know, I could, you know, people say you can't do point work. You can't do point work with a saber. Well, maybe you can't do point work with a saber, but I can. One of the cool things about a saber is this. Look what that is. So if I come in here and she does that and I turn my hand, yes, she has to do something else. You follow? And that's where we start getting into the deceptions. But if we go X and 4, I'm going to do the point work. Here, so she thrusts, I thrust, she feints and deceives. Deceive.
Oh, okay.
Here, and then I will deceive her lateral, deceive her counter, and go into here. Then she's going to go over this side. So here to here. Now she's going to feint here and deceive, and then I'm going to feint and deceive and deceive. So now we're starting at the point. You educate the audience what the jeopardy is, and then you make sure that you give the audience time to come along with you. Do you know that everything you can do in the saber choreography?
Really? But
Good.
Okay. Call it out.
I told you it wasn't over rehearsed. That was the thing when I did Fearless with Jet Li. We met, we shook hands. They started throwing a thing together. As soon as the team liked the look, you know, Wu Ping and Jet, he and I got up, we walked a couple of times and shot at speed. The first one was 3 takes. After that, nothing more than 2. Neither one of us knew the choreography, but I moved, he'd adjust.
Okay.
He moved, I would adjust. And we had maybe 75 years of mutual training to go with us. So we were actually responding to the energy of our partner at that moment in time, which is what you rehearse for months to get. We didn't have that. We had, this is now. And so it's one of my favorite. I also I used the same stuff I've done on Highlight, which is the mysterious circle and the angulation, which is old style fighting. Modern fighting, everybody thinks it's linear. That's on a piece. That's the sport version. Okay? And the guy behind the camera, the DP, his name is Apun. He was one of the DPs on Crouching Tiger. He came over and started talking to me. And Jet was going, well, that never, and he's like pointing at us. He's taking pictures of us, because I guess they don't talk to the actors. And he used to perform before he went back behind the camera, and he said, I see what you're doing. I'm a Wing Chun man, and we use those same, so to see him recognize the structure I was utilizing was extremely gratifying. They were giving me, I realized that they were giving me choreography to motivate cool moves that Jet had done for decades. And I went, okay, that wouldn't, he was also choreographing my weapon as if it was a Chinese weapon, but you know, I just absorbed that and went along with it. But I said, I will go to those quadrants, do you mind if I go this way or this way? And I guess somebody on the team said, who's choreographing this? Us or the Guaylo, which is not a flattering term. And Wu Ping said, this Guaylo knows what he's doing. And so after that, we had no problem. So that's what you get when you show up with knowledge, okay?
You want to do one of my sabers?
Yeah, why not? Oh, and I will
We have the
let
same weapons.
yeah, sure. Okay, which brings us to work, technology.
Oh.
Come on. Okay, thanks. Maybe your delicate touch. I can crash a computer walking through the room.
I think maybe it's the church. Y'all were working the other
Maybe
night.
got used. All right.
Yeah, I think maybe it should be
Here's an
church.
exercise that is going to combine moulinets. Remember we talked about the moulinet. Now, what has to happen in a moulinet, and here's this comes out of straight technique. If I cut her head and she cuts my head, if I do this push, I have no structure. Where's my elbow? It's pointing over there. But if when she comes to me, this is 50 years of saber fighting. My fingers release, sooner. See, I can come to here. The minute she comes for me, if I release my fingers, I have already redirected her energy. You see it? It's a loose grip. A loose grip is like cocking the gun. Then all I do is aim the gun, and then I pull the trigger. That's what moulinets are about. Make sense? So we're going to do that same structure, X and 4. Okay, this is a moulinet. Sorry, let's go 1 through 7. So moulinet. Good for 1, to 2, to 2, to 3, to 3, back to moulinet to 4, to 4, up to 5. That was 6.
That was 6.
Now
Yeah, you did 6 and I did 5.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And then I expel you, you expel me, and we're back to 4, to 4, to 3.
Oh, 3.
To 3. We're just counting. To 2, to 2,
What? Or seven. Or seven.
Okay. So basically the idea to this is, that's just irritating right now, unless we turn the lights down low and get out alcohol. So that you don't have to think about what comes next. But if you'll notice, you'll do whichever single hand. That's how you can do that. Here, I'll use that.
Choices here.
Sure you do. Okay, so I want to turn everything into a moulinet because this is big. Now, it's not shoulder big, it's finger big. And now I'm utilizing this the way Duncan McLeod would utilize it because his first sword master was Bob Anderson. Bob Anderson was a foil fencer. This isn't the most effective way to use a katana, but there was a mixture of cuts, right? Cuts. Go through the cuts. So we have vertical, or tate. We have kesa, which is diagonal. We have kesa. We have yoko. We have yoko. We have kiriage. We have kiriage. Now you can reverse this kaeshi, which is kesa, kiriage, or kiriage, kesa, or yoko, and switch to yoko, right? And then all those nifty positions that we just did a minute ago, which makes it look like you know what you're doing because at least you've done that much, all right? If I'm going to do this in a moulinet, everything to the inside line, one is a moulinet. But everything to the outside line is a direct return, which is nice because it sets up the point work that I showed you guys, right? But if I do this, you go to one, now I'm going to feint you, and then do a two, and you're going to moulinet and do parry six. Parry six and cut two.
Okay.
Parry six. Parry six.
Why would I parry?
Because you're going to turn this into a moulinet to the outside line.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So why? Oh.
Good. To two. Now three is feint and deceive.
Okay.
And feint.
And
I haven't shown it. Yes. And then four is a moulinet.
Okay.
4 is a moulinet. And then 5 is this.
5 and
And
6.
5 and 6.
Oh.
And then just to make things a little different,
What do we
she's
do?
going to go to 5 and she's going to expulse me with my head. Good. Or I'm going to expulse her. Now we go back to 4. So this is moulinet, and I'm moulinet. Now 3, which requires a feint, and then deceive, and then a feint, and then deceive, and I see that face acting? Good.
Face acting.
And then 2, and 2.
Oh, 2.
Good. So if I do this and she does a moulinet,
Oh, I
if I do this
want
and
to
she
go
does
right
a
on
moulinet,
mine. I want to go
yes,
right
that's lightsaber fencing.
Why can't I do
Notice
this?
how
Why
everything
can't I just
has
rest?
a moulinet to it, but it's still fencing. Get the idea? Good. Was that a full hour? Any questions?
Pictures of the sword.
Is somebody in here after us?
What?
No, hang on a second.
I want to pick this thing.
Great. Okay, now, which brings us to,
This thing up.
here's a sword that Tony brought us. This is
Yes.
I have the power! This is substantial. It's hefty.
It's
That's a
5.5 pounds. We cut a car apart with that.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I trained Lynn Thompson for 13 years.
Yeah.
If it can't kill a car engine,
Or
it's
cut
not
it apart.
heavy enough, right? Yeah. Cut a car apart. So you have to find a way to balance this half on a second. So you notice this is balanced in my hand. So I can do all of that same stuff we were just doing. I can do my kesa, I can do my kiriage, my yoko, my coming all the way around, because this is balancing in my hand rather than, you're not pumping iron.
It works like a,
Speak up, sweetless.
yeah. Do Suruvenzoku with it. All the body twists.
Oh.
Yeah, that will show how this is.
Wait.
But-
Yeah.
No, it's like,
So-
so it's here, here. This is supposed to make you
okay. Hi.
move your body.
Yeah. So we actually use heavy weapons sometimes.
Suburito, yeah.
Hard stuff. This is, right? Are they gonna clang swords? Are they gonna smash them and have an accident? See, we built up jeopardy, you know, so that you guys could worry for us.
the body and.
Are you gonna let them, you wanna, I'll bet Tony will pose with a picture with his sword and you could probably get a picture with him.
That's right.
And he's gonna be tomorrow and we will have a mutual panel,
Yeah.
which will be really cool. Yes, sir, question in the back.
Yes, sir. Now, you've done a lot of training with this. Did you do any martial arts training with Frank Parker or Judo Gene LaBelle?
I've known Judo Gene for years. When I was on I was inducted into the Black Belt Hall of Fame. That was my first Hall of Fame. The first one, and he was on the cover of Black Belt magazine. The first call I got was from Uncle Gene.